Tenno, our work goes on.
The operator. The laboratories are sealed. Our task: watch for the chosen operator. Known data. The operator is a Tenno. A Tenno was a specialist warrior in service of the Origin, the masters of the Origin system. The Tenno piloted Warframes, suits of sophisticated battle armor. They fought alongside the Dax, augmented human warriors who were more numerous and less effective than the Tenno. The Tenno existed to battle the sentients, evolving machines hostile to the Origin and their way of life. Complications. The Origin Empire fell. Only artifacts remain. The war with the sentients, the old war, is long over. No Tenno have ever been seen for generations. Conclusion. The Lotus. A suitable Tenno candidate has been found. The reawakened Tenno is being guided by the Lotus, the same entity who led the Tenno at the end of the old war. The Lotus is known to be a former sentient, previously named Natal. She was captured and converted to her current state during the Old War by Executor Ballas, a high-ranking Origin. Executor Ballas is theorized to have modeled the appearance and persona of the Lotus upon his deceased lover, Margulius, an Archimedean scientist executed for her devotion to the Tenno. The Lotus appears to be just as devoted to the Tenno as Margulius was. She has not, however, divulged the secret of her sentient origin to them, continuing to monitor. The conflict. Tenno candidates has engaged with several hostile forces. The Grenier, are degraded descendants of the cloned Warframe that once served the Origin. They are brutal combatants concerned only with the amassing of power and territory. Left unchecked, they slaughter, enslave, and plunder civilians. The Corpus are a merchant cult devoted to profit. They make extensive use of robotics. They exploit civilians economically and violently protect their investments. The infestation is a biomechanical plague, apparently controlled by one or more hive minds. It corrupts organic and mechanical targets, converting them into mutated servants, continuing to monitor. The Void. The Tenno has discovered abandoned Ordogan towers within the Void. These towers were intended to act as sanctuaries from sentient attacks during the Old War, since the Void is intensely damaging to sentience. Supplementary information. Much of the Ordogan society was dependent upon the Void. It was used as a shortcut through space and as a source of energy. Its full potential was first theorized by Albert Entranti within these very laboratories. It is Albert Entranti whom this device serves. It is Albert Entranti who has instructed us to locate the chosen operator. Significant development. The Tenno has encountered the Entranti family on Davos. The family remains unaware of the existence of these laboratories. The Necroloid is an exception. Its memories is, however, suppressed until the activation of the Calamos sequence. Significant development. The Tenno subject has learned of the Lotus's sentient nature, including her original name, Nata. Edact Tension has presented himself as a rival mentor, claiming that the Lotus cannot be trusted. The Tenno has encountered Nata's father, a sentient war leader, Hun Hao, whose remains lie beneath the remains of oceans on Uranus. Hun Hao had expected Nata to destroy the Tenno in accordance with her original mandate. The Lotus continues to reject her sentient nature and seems concerned to retain the Tenno's trust. Continue to monitor. The Stalker. Since awakening, the Tenno has been pursued by the Stalker. Appearance and combat capabilities suggest the Stalker is a surviving low guardian, a former puppet, a former protector of the Ordogan. Evidence implies that the Ordogan Empire fell at the hands of the Tenno themselves. The Stalker's motive may therefore be revenge. Significant development. Hun Hao and the Stalker are working together. The Stalker has been sent to find the reservoir, a place believed to conceal the Tenno's greatest secrets, and which could be used to destroy them all in one stroke. The Tenno has set off in pursuit, aided by the Corpus Technocrat Alat V. Significant development. The reservoir has been located. It is on the moon Lua, previously believed to be destroyed, but in fact concealed within the void. The Zerman. Significant development. The Tenno has discovered the truth of their identity. They were a human child, one of many kept within cryopods on Lua in the reservoir. These children were passengers on the Zerman Tenzero, the colony ship bound for Tau and lost to the void. When recovered, they were found to have developed parahuman abilities. Despite Margolis' protests, they were placed into a state of lucid dreaming and used as Warframe pilots, continuing to monitor. The Queens. The Tenno has encountered the Grineer Queens, the semi-mythical leaders of the Grineer. The Elder Queen, aged and diseased, had planned to transfer her mind into the Tenno's younger body. The process, continuity, was common among the Ordogan elites and was used to extend their lifespans indefinitely. Tenshin Dax helped the Tenno to resist the Elder Queen, who has now been eliminated. Only the younger Worm Queen remains. The Tenno has recovered much of their lost training sustainability to fulfill the role of chosen operator, has exponentially increased. Continuing to monitor. The Sentinel. The Tenno has been made aware of Rel, a fellow Tenno who was outcast by his peers. Rel had voluntarily assumed the duty of keeping the Origin system safe from a void-based entity referred to as the Man in the Wall. With Rel's death, the responsibility has now transferred to the Tenno. Critical development. The Man in the Wall is identical to the entity known as the Indifference. Albrecht Intranti is ultimately responsible for attracting the attention of it to the Origin system. Albrecht Intranti may have ultimately be responsible for its existence. Parameter confirmed, the Tenno is the chosen operator. We await the correct moment to activate the Calamos sequence. Ballas. Executor Ballas is now known to have colluded with Hunhao during the Old War in an attempt to betray the Tenno to the Sentients. Executor Ballas is now known to have survived the collapse of the Orichan Empire. Significant sentient forces are now known to have amassed undetected at the periphery of the Origin system during the span of time since the Old War. Executor Ballas has now manipulated the Lotus for his own ends, compelling her to resume her sentient identity, Natar, in order to use her as a proxy commander of the sentient forces. Significant development. Ballas has led the sentients in a renewed attack on the Origin system. Epra, the brother of Natar, is acting as a joint commander. The factions of the Origin system have formed an alliance against this common foe. Significant development. The Tenno's personal timeline has been disrupted. Knowing he cannot kill the Tenno, Ballas has opted to imprison them within their own history. The Tenno will be unable to escape this loop without the paradoxical intervention of an outside force. The Drifter. The Zetterman vessel, adrift for an unknown time within the void, now acts as a containment field for unrealized possibilities. One such possibility is an alternate version of the Tenno. This individual escaped into the void of their own initiative, rather than being rescued and taken into the Origin system as the Tenno were. Within the void, they established a realm, Duviri, in which to live. The individual, the Drifter, has now entered the Origin system. Significant development. Ballas has established himself as ruler of the Origin system. Through his Namur cult, all sentences have been forced to wear headpieces that distort perceived reality. Ballas is thus able to dictate exactly what the wearer experiences. Era continues to act as Ballas' enforcer, using composite features called Archons as muscles. Significant development. With the assistance of Hunhao and the Stalker, the Drifter has fought back against Ballas, destroying the Archons. The Tenno have been freed from their recursive timeline and now coexist with the Drifter. Significant development. Ballas is dead. The Lotus, now free from Ballas' condition, has chosen a preferred primary name and form. The Calamos sequence. Critical development. In a deranged attempt to transport himself and his cult to Tau, ballast open portals between the void and a conventional reality on an unprecedented scale. This has attracted the attention of the Indifferents, whose freedom of action appears to have drastically increased. The threat posed by the Indifferents is now at a critical level. The laboratories have come under fresh assault from the Murmur. Unless the sleeper is awoken, Albrecht and Tronti's legacy will perish. Conclusion: contacting the Necroloid, activating the Calamos sequence.